Well, hello there, humans of his earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. Welcome back to channel. I'm Bushka, and we're just talking about this hot drop for a second. Can you see me throwing hands here? Just doing the Muhammad Ali's all over these hillbilly hicks, ducking and weaving and just all-round jiving and striving. And let's hat tip, clap this bloke out as he puts away the deagle and tries to throw hands back. What a hot drop that is. Today we're going to be talking about Sanhok. We're going to be doing a hot drop on Sanhok. Now this is actually a video I do a lot of projects where I set things up. At the moment I'm working on an AKM versus M416 video, right? Which you'll need to stick around to watch. That's going to be coming out real soon. But there's a lot of other projects as well that I'm working on. And so I will have things just sitting there ready to go in the kit and caboodle. Thanks very much for not killing me, Mr. Bot. And that's one of the ones that we're going to look at today. This is actually a game that finished at the end of last season. And it's solos on Sanhok. Old man with the grey beard and everything going on here. I haven't had a shave for days. My life is just a tragedy. And I'm going to show you some sneaky old man tips, tricks, and kind of things that'll make you a better player. Fingers crossed. One of my favourite places to drop in the game, this. Paradise Resort. Obviously, if you've been a fan of the channel for any length of time, you know that I love playing Floor is Lava here. Floor is Lava is an amazing thing to do. You basically run around and become better at movement because you will jump from obstacle to obstacle, trying not to touch the floor. I'm not doing that today because this is obviously a drop where there are a lot of people on, but I am going to run my pretty standard routes, and that is that area there, dropping out the back, through that shift, up onto the roof, and then start looking for work. I'm running an AKM and an M416. Now, I'm going to do a whole video on these two guns because I find that on the whole, these are the two divisive weapons. People are very much AKM or M416. That bloke was, in fact, sitting there waiting for me because he'd heard me earlier. And then I just, go ham from the rooftop and happy days, everyone's a winner. The real key here, though, for me, is not about the weapons. It's about the gameplay. I hear someone coming there. I immediately move, and this is why I love this area. There are so many overlooks and so many sneaky positions you can get to. And people really do get caught out when they try to play that passive gatekeep. You end up having all kinds of good things. So we get a flare. We hear some gunfights going on down here. There's a bloke with a QBU. That's all well and good. We picked up a Kar98 and we've dropped both the AKM and the M416. And we've gone with my personal favorite, the Beryl. Now the Beryl is my favorite, but it's definitely not everyone's favorite. Lots and lots and lots of people love running the AKM over the Beryl. I think they're wrong, but there's a lot of reasons why they're right too. And I'm going to get into that in the next video. The flare obviously goes up, and this is where things start to get a little bit of fun. There's a bloke who is in the village down there. There's another guy that is moving in. You see just there on the top of screen, 305 moving in. We tag him with the Kar98, but then we lose him. I think he actually goes over the back behind the trees, and we lose track of this. And then I hear footsteps further down to the east here. So we've got to clear out whoever is to our east, and then we can go back and sort the other bloke out down here. Now, I think that might have been a bot, but you can't be sure when they're running out like that. Quite often that is a human being. But I wanted to make sure, and that's why I ceased and desisted with all my prevaricating towards this bloke on the north. I wanted to make sure that our backside, our hindquarters, was safe as houses. That's definitely a human because he's just thrown one straight past the keeper, and I've got to get an eyeball out there. He's getting kept on the edge of the zone, though. This is more or less by plan. I ran to the edge of the zone before I threw it up. There's the nuppet there, and down he goes, getting our fat loot from the crate. What do they got? Woo! AWM. Now, you might see me leave the organ there. Sanhok's an interesting one. You can run all kinds of guns and be successful, but close quarters combat, I would much rather have a Awm M762 than an AUG. Oh, do you hear that? That's the sound of a little man going past on a little bike. And we miss. However, that does let him know that we're here, so he is waiting for us to move in. That's cool because I need content, and content gold is content gold. Here we go. Little pro lean out, pre-fire. And that's the end of the bloke on the bicycle. We do take his bicycle, though, and we go riding off into the sunset, and we drive it very badly, and it chucks us off. And there you go. was kind of weird that a bot turned up just as I fell off the bike, and then a person that wasn't a bot turned up just as I fell off the bike. All's fair in love and real estate. But look at this. This is why I love the Awm, and it's one of the videos that I did recently about sniping, and I used this clip because you can see my miss is high. I prefer to miss high on these shots because it's catastrophic when you hit a chest and they just decide to bugger off because that hurt too much. But if you don't get them, they'll still sit there and peek. At least players who don't know what an Awm sounds like. There's a bloke shooting me through the door. Thank you very much for letting me know you were there. Otherwise, that could have really come undone. A little bit of patience would have gone a long way for that young amigo. We jump in the car, and this is interesting because we're now going across the bridge. There is not a lot of fun to be had crossing this bridge. I've had so many bad experiences crossing this bridge. I really, really don't like it. It is one of my least favourite parts of the game. And if you're going to do it fast. It's like I always say, if you've got no good decisions to make the bad ones fast. And then we just snuggle up here and start looking around. I hear someone moving. Good God. I mean, that guy must have seen the car going up and thought it had gone over the top of the hill. Thank God he did. That's two people now who've had a great chance at taking me out, and I've just basically been really lucky not to get nutted by them. There are two guys here. One is in the compound just over the other side of the ridgeline, and there is another guy who is further down to the north side of the bridge. What I plan to do here is basically just hold this ridgeline until the circle makes me move, because it's a great space. There is hard cover in the rocks, and there is the ridgeline as well, which I can peek back behind depending on where shots are incoming from. And I love getting an overlook into compounds like this where the windows look up the hill, because you see their feet before they can see you. Like, it's such a killer. If you're in those windows, it happens all the time at boot camp. There's a set of windows at boot camp. As you look up the hill from boot camp, the windows will just illustrate where your feet are. It's like, hello, here's my feet. And you can kill people just by nailing them in the foot, which is pretty weird. Like, just a weird thing, you know. And I'm going to show you the end of this game because this is actually quite cool. There is a lot of sniping going on. Now, a lot of people will tell you that bolt actions are no good on Sanhok, and that's not true at all. I think what is actually true is not that bolt actions aren't good, but that DMRs are better than they usually are because of Sanhok's engagement spaces. You struggle quite often to find long-range engagements, like engagements over 100, 120 meters. And that's where bolt actions really start to excel. And you have a gun called the QBU on Sanhok, and the Sanhok QBU thing is legit. The QBU has 54 base damage. If you're wondering where all those numbers come from that I keep quoting, I've got a website called thebushka.com. Go and check that website out, and you will see all kinds of numbers that you won't find anywhere else on the internet, because the other people all just grab the PC numbers, and people who don't know any better, they go and believe the PC numbers, and they're crap. They're not the right numbers. I got the mobile numbers, baby. I got the music in me. I got the music in me. Oh, yeah, let's not do any more of that. So the circle's finally made me move. The QBU being fantastic is great, but if you've got an AWM, there is not much that can outpace an AWM. It's gone very, very quiet. We've had 5 or 6 left for a long time now, and I'm looking to see what's going on down there, because if anyone's close enough to throw a hand grenade at the person that I believe that is in that compound, because I've heard gunshots in there before, they've got to be close. There's a QBU. Oh. Yes. He'd obviously just been hit because he went straight down to that AWM. I think that QBU shot might have actually been something into the side of him. So that was lovely. Didn't need a headshot there. Oh, someone firing at me. You heard the ricochet. And again, that's unlucky. That felt like a headshot from where I was sitting, and he definitely is not coming back out. He's had enough of that crap. He's like, I'm done. No more for me. Thank you very much. And this is a great example of when the circle goes to this kind of space, people will shrink down into the compound. And if you can actually run the edges of the circle, staying in cover, like there's lots and lots of hard cover here on Sanhok, then you can do exceptionally well. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm running the edges of the circle, and everyone else is just kind of drifting down into that compound. That's 1, 2, 3 of the last 5 guys have all been in that compound that I've seen. And one of them, I don't know, he might have got taken out by someone in that compound already. And you can see there is our last target. Lo and behold, thank you, mother for the rabbits, and we're done and dusted. Sanhok is a great map, but it's a map that takes a lot of game sense. You've got to be aware of what's going on around you, and the one simple rule of Sanhok is hard cover to hard cover. If you follow that, you'll do all right. Until next time, look after yourself, stay safe in the battlefield, and bye for now.